So, hello, I'm now sharing. Check whether you see it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, this is session number 9. Okay. And session number 9's contents are case studies. But what I suppose, what I have told in the morning, we can have some revision and simultaneously we will have some cases. So for this session and the session of next Sunday, the revision and case studies will go hand in hand, right? Okay. And as the other participant, that is, I suppose, Pallavi, right? Pallavi was not there much time. So Pallavi can get advantage of this revision at her own level, and Mayuri and others will get the advantage at the other level. Whatever level you are, from that you can go ahead.
Ma'am, your voice is breaking.
My voice is breaking?
Yes, I don't know if it is my network or it's for everyone.
My network is not having problem because I'm not on Wi-Fi. I'm on mobile connectivity. So
maybe my network.
Others, is my voice clear?
Yes, ma'am. Very clear.
Okay, fine. So this was the content of first module, basic concepts regarding research, meanings, objectives, approaches, and various types of research. We had started with some, do you remember how we have started? We have definitely not started with definitions. We had started with some illustrations or some comments or some sayings, right? For example, on research, there are a number of road kills on information highway. Do you remember? 10 such statements were there by which we got rough idea regarding what research is and how the researcher is to go navigate and what the researcher's responsibilities are. So we had started with that, but obviously that was not sent on your PPT. This is what the PPT that is shared with you. So we had 4 definitions and you have done one exercise on these definitions. Yes, because before that 10 to 15 minutes we had invested on those quotes. If you go through the recordings of first session, you will go through those quotes also. So after good discussion on the quotes, we had gone to this exercise on definitions and I had asked you to read the definitions by yourself.
Yeah, which
by yourself. Yeah. Correct. And you were to select one and you were to justify or you were to give the reasons why you have selected one. In nutshell, research is a process for an inquiry. This inquiry in second definition, it is called as critical inquiry. In third, it is called as systematic inquiry. And in fourth, it is clearly said it's a process. And process of what? So first, as you know, any researcher, whatever kind of small or big research, academic or industrial research one does, one has to collect the data. So acquiring knowledge, synthesizing all that data, because the raw data we can't use, then synthesizing, then disseminating useful data and information. Here the disseminating I am referring to definition number 4. Why we do research? It is for some purpose, the objective, some use. And that use, that means all this information in the useful manner. That means in our findings and conclusions and suggestions, we are to provide this information. So it's a process from acquiring to submitting. So, and why? Researcher का क्या फायदा है? It gives insights to the decision makers, obviously, and to the researchers also. So in the first definition, it talked about manipulation. When we collect the data and use the data in different manners with the help of different variables, we test the cause and effect relation. And therefore, it is called as manipulation. So here, manipulation is the positive word. It is the manipulation of things, concepts, symbols, and many other things. And the knowledge creation must happen. So from theoretical point of view, we have seen this definition. Aims and objectives. I have repeatedly said research is done and research should be done only when there are issues, there are problems, there are challenges. This is one group, problems, issues, challenges. Another group, why we need to do the research is opportunities and curiosities. That means everything is going on well. There are no apparent problems. There are no issues. There are no challenges. But proactively, we need to do the research because any business, any organization means opportunities. So opportunities, curiosities is one section, which is proactive. And reactive is problems, issues, and challenges. Obviously, whenever we study this, facts are important. And these facts we call as data, secondary and primary. To develop knowledge and insight, it is done. Every academic program these days has one subject as research. And one essential thing is the project. Why? The knowledge upgradation, insights of the students needs to be done because all the students are the future decision makers. So their maturity regarding decision making, their logical approach towards life needs to be developed. Therefore, number 3 is knowledge and insight. How this knowledge, insight, maturity develops? Through analytical bent of mind. No research is possible without analysis, and your analysis helps you in logical thought process. That is in next point also, and cause and effect relationship is developed. It helps in decision making, better solutions, study business life, control and prediction, and obviously it should be for the development of mankind, that is welfare of humanity. Whatever suggestions you give always are for betterment, and that betterment is in the last point. You go through this slide, and if you want more clarification on any point, do tell me. Do you agree with the third point on the left side? Intellectual joy. Of course, those who have not started it, they will have tension, they will have concerns, they will have uncertainties when you come across the project and all that. But Mayuri, in the morning, you were talking about the matter that you are drafting, then going ahead and again coming
Words,
back and
yeah.
playing with the words and all that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and when knowledge creation starts happening, you won't realize it is happening, but it's an intellectual joy. So I wish all of you you experience this intellectual joy one day, someday or other.
It's going to take us a long time, ma'am, to reach that
Of
level.
course.
Because I think we are just
And
starting
that
right now.
patience and perseverance
Has to
and
be there.
tolerance is very much essential,
Correct.
right? Okay. So approaches to research: deductive, inductive, and abductive. Let us understand it. We had this scene first: deductive and inductive. Deductive is top-down approach. Some theory is there. With the help of theory, some hypothesis is framed. Then some observations are made. Observations may be with the help of observation as a method, or with interview or survey, or just exploring the secondary data only. Some here the word observation means findings or some conclusions. And then the hypothesis is tested, proven, or it is rejected. But it starts with some theory. Theory is already available. In inductive, it is down-top approach, bottom up. Some observations are there, then some pattern is found in the observations, tentative hypothesis is made, and when tested and all that, it develops into a theory. You will remember that in the session, I had taken 3 examples. So you refer to the recordings. With those 3 examples, this concept will be more clear. You may remember it was regarding delays in the aircrafts, takeoff delays. Second example was dogs and fleas. Do you remember?
Yes, ma'am. We discussed it.
Yeah. So for that, obviously, I have not given that in the PPTs that I shared. But in the recordings, definitely you will find that. Okay, so before the next session, you do go through the recordings. Okay, so inductive and deductive kind of research we have seen. The same was described in this slide. Okay. But with those examples only, it will be easier for you to recollect that and to understand that more. So Pallavi and those who were not there for that session, you go through that recordings, try to understand, and if still you have doubts, you can ask me in the next session. Okay. The limitations of both the approaches we have studied. And then the major...
I was there in the previous class. I was there. The first 2 classes I was there, and then it got
Okay.
missed.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. But still do the revision.
Definitely.
With the help of recordings. Okay. PPTs are for mainly your theoretical contents, with the help of which you will be able to write your answers in the exams and assignments. For that, PPT is the support. PPT is not everything. There is much material in your background material, right, to explore more. Okay, so types of research is the main content of this session or unit. So fundamental research, mostly scientific research, theories and all that, very basic things, foundational things are explored. That is fundamental research in management or in commerce, and in T&D, which is a branch which is multidisciplinary, of course. Fundamental research is very rarely done. Applied research, whenever objective is to identify the solutions to the problem and find the answers, then it is applied research. Action research in industry. When you come across some issues, you may do the applied research also or action research. Anyone remembers what action research is? And what is the difference? We have seen in the morning one example of survey on page 120. We have solved that. Okay, that research, is it action research? Or can you give any example of action research? Okay.
So, ma'am, can I try?
Yeah, go ahead.
So for action research, let's say there is a exit survey taken for employees who are exiting the organization voluntarily. And that's the basis. So and then there are 3 or 4 reasons that have come out from the survey, seeing why employees are leaving the organization. Maybe it could be line manager behavior, or it is no career development, or there is not much probably no money, proper remuneration is not there. So these are 3 points that have come in, and the committees agree to take certain actions for those.
No, that is not action research.
No,
that is our normal research.
but what actions will be taken so that we can see if they are effective in bringing the outcome?
Any research's objective is to take action,
Correct.
take decision and take action. Okay. Here, the action research means there is some preconditions. So let us take your example. Okay. We are talking about exit interviews, correct?
Exit surveys, yeah. Correct, yeah.
Those who who have taken the exit, on them, that is the sample.
Correct.
Okay. On them, they are not coming to the company again.
Correct.
Okay. So in action research, the sample is the same. Suppose I study the your study habits, okay, or and I come to some conclusions and give some suggestions to you regarding your study habits. Okay. And in some suggestions, I have seen that some points are from faculty's side. So faculty, suppose you in your focus group interview or whatever, it has come out that faculty is to change the ways of teaching. Okay. So what I do, my past data is already available. Now what I do, I teach in the different manner. Okay. And again, I do the research on you, on your study effectiveness. So your study effectiveness before
and after
action. So this action is in the middle. Okay. So pre-action and post-action, the result is found, and then it will be decided whether and to what extent changes are to be made in the teachings methodologies of the faculties. Correct? You were talking about students, Mayuri. Okay, students and soft skills. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, long back.
So students have given some placement interviews.
Correct.
Okay. And you have done some research on that. To what extent their so and so soft skills had supported you or supported themselves, or which soft skills have been the obstacle. Okay. Now, on the soft skills, which were the hindrance or which were weak in the students, you conducted some workshops. Okay. Then same sample, same students for next placement interview. Then what is the difference?
Has to be same to see whether the
and
effectiveness has come out.
Post is after the action taken by Not necessarily by the researcher, but by some agency.
Is.
So
That could be
software
action
training
research.
you give or some other person will give.
Right.
Okay, in the college, internal faculty will conduct or external will conduct. You are researcher.
Correct.
You may be the faculty or you may not be the faculty.
Not.
Correct? So this is action research.
So
And
the
in your-
example that I gave, ma'am,
Hmm.
could probably fall in the applied research category also.
Exactly.
Yeah. So saying because the sample when I
It
do
can
the
be
whatever
applied, it can
Yeah.
be exploratory.
Good. The
If
same
you
sample I will not get for the next time to check if
Correct.
that action.
Correct,
Got it.
correct. Causal research, that time also I have told it is not casual research, it is causal research. Whenever we say there is an issue, there is a challenge, there is a problem, that is an effect of some causes. These causes are to be found out. On important causes, some actions are to be taken, and therefore research when cause and effect relationship is the core of it, it is called as causal research. So that exit interview example, that will be your applied research, exploratory research, and causal research. Correct? So
Because of this has happened.
correct, correct. And main important task here is to identify the variables, making a list of variables, and then making a good questionnaire, having good scaling. I hope you remember scaling in the revision. In the next session, I think we will do the revision on questionnaire, drafting, the scaling. But if you find time, I would suggest you go through that recording of unit number 5. So strongly agree to strongly disagree. This is one scale. Likert scale is there, or some other rating scales are there. Then preference levels can be understood. So through a number of variables and various types of scaling, which causes are strong behind this effect are identified, and on that you give some suggestions. One example is given on last but second bullet. Impact of new teaching method on the student learning outcomes by randomly assigning students to experiential and control groups. So comparison can be done. In one group, only cognitive teaching will be done. In the second group, cognitive plus more experiential teaching will be done. And the same test will be conducted on both the groups. So cause and effect relationship can be understood, right? We in this unit are studying types of research, but many times the word variable came. Therefore, this is actually the content of second unit, but we have seen here also. So mainly independent variable and dependent variable. Dependent is the effect, and therefore dependent variables are comparatively lesser in number, and independent variable are the causes which you are to identify, and the researcher's ability is known or tested through making a list, or that is identifying the independent variables. What will be the support for you for making a list of independent variables? For example, survey on the causes of attrition. Survey on the causes of attrition in so and so company during last 12 months. This is the title of your research in your company. I repeat, survey on the causes of attrition at so and so company during the last 1 year. So tell me now, attrition is independent variable or dependent variable?
It's dependent.
Hmm?
Dependent.
Hmm.
Dependent variable.
Correct. Attrition is the effect. Therefore, it is dependent variable. Now, what will be your major task? Making the list of independent variables, which are behind these exits. That is attrition. So, I'm again bringing you to the 3 points under independent variables. These are manipulated by the researcher. We have seen this word in definition. Here you are manipulating these independent variables. That means you are testing these variables effect on attrition. Correct? So suppose you have identified 10 variables, 10 independent variables. One of the independent, can you tell me 3-4 independent variables behind attrition? Any, whatever comes to your mind. Causes behind attrition.
Could be pay or benefits.
Okay, pay scale. Someone else, another point.
And promotional factors.
Promotional
Factors.
package. Okay. What else?
Line managers as a factor.
Okay, managerial behavior.
Behavior, yes.
Okay. So 2 money related have come. 1 behavioral has come. Any culture related?
Or to toxic, I mean, I won't say toxic culture, but organization culture
Generic
could be.
word.
Ma'am, career growth.
Pardon?
Career growth.
Okay, career growth.
Learning
Okay.
development opportunities.
Lack of
Lack of growth, learning opportunities.
Okay. Fine.
It could be organization culture also. I mean, it's not a good culture. So
organizational culture. Okay. So you have made now 4 sections. See, when you try to identify these variables, which are independent variables, you can go for the final, your final task will be making a questionnaire with the help of this. Now, automatically, there are 4 sections. One is payment related, money and all that. So pay scale, then promotional package, then you may add some incentive system of the company, bonus and whatever. Second part is the behavior of the manager. In that you can identify a number of other variables, because again, managerial behavior is a very generic term. You want your respondents to tick mark. So managerial behavior, under that 10-15 points may come. Then career growth and opportunities, that will be another 3rd section. Organization culture will be 4th section, and under each section there will be other subvariables. Correct? So effect is to be measured for this. These variables, independent variables, are to be manipulated. That means you are not to exactly manipulate. You are to make a list of these variables, turn that into questionnaire form, scaling and all that. And once you get the data, you have already manipulated. And you will find out which factors or which variables are more contributing to the attrition. Okay. So, types of research we are studying. Cross-sectional research. So cross-sectional research, when the sample that is selected is of a particular type. Tell me, you go through the slide and tell me the speciality or the 1 or 2 features of cross-sectional research. Yes. In just 2 lines or 1 line, what will you say about cross-sectional research? I just want to check whether you have understood or not.
Maybe taking a smaller domain from a larger domain as a cross section for conducting a research.
Not very specific.
Okay.
You have captured it in general. I
Okay.
understand that you have understood, but other person won't say that you are right.
Okay.
What is missing? Tell me.
Give me a minute.
You are using small and big. It is not that.
Representative group, maybe.
Again, generic.
Okay.
So if exit interviews are to be conducted, on that survey is going to take place regarding causes of attrition.
Okay.
In the company, there are 500 managers. Okay.
Okay.
And you take 50 or 100 of them regarding their perceptions about why people have left.
Correct.
Now, this 50 or 100 is a small number.
Right.
But does it mean it is cross-sectional?
No, because it could be random. It may not represent properly.
Then what will you do which will be called as cross-sectional? If your secondary data, I suppose you understand this, your secondary data which is internal.
Yeah.
In the company, you have section-wise data.
Correct. So
Department-wise.
multiple departments, you take two from each department. That could be one way.
No, again, you are making a mistake.
Okay.
Attrition data you are having with you, department-wise. Okay. In percentage.
Right.
And you come to know that sales department is having the largest percentage of attrition.
Okay.
Okay. So you now select only sales department for your project. This is called as cross-section.
Okay.
All agree with me? Are they there?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm getting
Yeah,
it.
ma'am, we are there. We are there. We are just trying to. I mean, I'm just trying to look at your example and
See, there are though smaller font. There are. I will make it.
the two examples given. I was just trying to see that in this particular case, we could have also said that there are data available for, let's say, all departments. Sales department has got the highest attrition, whereas there are a couple of other departments which do not have so much attrition. So a comparative study can be done between these two to figure out why there is so, or what is done in that department that is not done here, or can we avoid attrition by adopting those techniques. That's a far-fetched thought, but I was just trying to see whether that correlates here. In the example, it says that, people have done good sales and the ones who have not done good sales. So companies trying to get insights into the most successful and the least successful sales methods. If we apply the same to this exit survey or this exit reasons, then there could be something that the managers of A department are doing because of which they've got the least amount of exits as compared to the department, some other department where the exits are very high.
Right, right. In colleges or schools, there are a number of divisions. Okay. And generally, conventionally, when depending upon marks, the divisions are made, the initial A, B, C are the toppers or more studious and all that. And D, E, F like different. Okay. So when you take only D, only F, that is cross-sectional, or A, any research depending upon that, for any objective, when you select one section, why that section? Because that is one homogeneous group by a number of parameters. Specific age group, specific income group, or if I do some research on the, I have given once the example, motivation regarding career growth amongst the professionals, and I take third semester students of PG diploma in April 2024. This is cross-sectional. Okay. Specific purpose, some justification behind that, and a specific group is selected. Okay. Time series research. Time series research is a research which consistently goes on over different sequential time frames. For example, last example check, last bullet point. Analyzing monthly sales data for a retail company to identify seasonal trends or forecast future sales performance. Or the attrition related issues. Every quarter, you do the same thing. That is time series research. But you won't definitely do that because it won't serve any purpose. If specific purpose is served by doing some research on the trends and all that, then it is time series research.
Weather department does a research on rainfall, let's say, last year,
Correct.
same time,
Correct.
how much to predict.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. So when there is volume, when there is weather, when there is climate and all that, time series research, and mainly sales related or share market related time series research. Okay, exploratory research. When in deep you are to go, in depth you are to find out cause and effect relationship, the subtleties you want to know, intricacies you are interested in, because you want to go to the roots of the problem, and based on the analysis and all that, you are to solve the problem once for all, at least for some duration. The problem shouldn't emerge. That is your objective. So you go deeper and deeper. This is called as exploratory research. So it is a combination, obviously secondary data analysis and all that you will do. Based on that, you will try to use interviews, individual interviews, focus group interviews, survey also. So major objective is to investigate, critical analysis and all that. Primary research, this primary and secondary, that time I have told, these are not that way taken as types of research, but as it is in your syllabus, primary research is the research which is based on primary data analysis. Secondary is the secondary data analysis. Qualitative research. Can you tell me methods of qualitative research?
Questionnaires, interviews. No, sorry, interviews, focus group discussions. There was one more.
Okay.
Individual interviews.
Observations.
Three methods. One, interview. Two, observation. And actually, these are the only two. In interview, there are two types.
Individual
In
and group.
your material, the word depth interview is used. It is in-depth individual interview. Depth interview means individual in-depth interview. And second part of interview is focus group interview or focus group discussion, FGD. And therefore, many times, instead of these three, instead of these two, they say there are three: in-depth or depth interview, FGD, and observation. Okay. So this is qualitative research. because you can't quantify the data. The major risk is your interpretation, how you pen down what is happening, your language skill, your maturity, your perceptions about any systems may come in between, and there may be a problem with your interpretation. And when your interpretations are biased, when there is some prejudice, or when there is researchers' immaturity, half-baked perceptions are there, then obviously interpretations go in that manner, and decision-making also may go wrong. And actions obviously won't give the results. Therefore, it is essential that while taking qualitative research as a method, the researcher has to be very, very alert and careful. And therefore, only qualitative research should not be done. Along with that, for big projects, quantitative research should be used. For qualitative research, obviously the sample number is small. So there can't be the interviews in hundreds and all that. The number is generally FGDs, 4, 5 FGDs. Of course, depending upon the project, more stakeholders, more FGDs, and individual interviews also are lesser in number because they are more in depth. And observations can be in big number for longer period, of course, depending upon the project type, project whether you are going to explore it in detail and all that, then the observations, how many variables you have identified which are essential for the project. So depending upon that, the number will be there. But compared to quantitative research, qualitative research sample is smaller. Quantitative, it's numerical data. So you can't ask open-ended questions as you can ask in interviews. In survey, if you ask such questions, no one will answer it. And therefore, in quantitative research, you are to prepare the questionnaire. The questionnaire questions should be closed-ended. So you give a number of options. They are to just tick. That scaling and type of questions, everything is there in unit number 5. We will revise it next time. So this was the content of our unit number 1. Now, go to your background material, page number 15. We will go to some cases from this unit, because as we have decided, revision plus case studies. So our session 9 and 10 is going hand in hand. Are you there on page number 15?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, number 2. We will give time to number 1 after some time once we finish this. But your memories regarding page 120 may be more fresh. Therefore, I'm taking this first. Okay, I'm reading it. When the lockdown was declared in March 2020, all companies found it difficult to get the work done at company sites. Most of the organizations adopted work from home policy. Initially, all employees cooperated with their respective companies so as to secure their jobs. But now, after a year of work from home, companies would like to find out the employee satisfaction towards organization policy of work from home and hybrid work culture. This is required so that the company can take further steps to design training and development programs by addressing factors responsible for dissatisfaction among the employees. For this, the company has hired an intern to do research for the same. If you are the manager to guide the intern on the project, which topics will you consider for the project and why? Give 4 various topics concerning the situation. Now here, even though they say topic, they mean title. Okay. Now I'm giving you few seconds. You go through the same and underline 4 or 5 important words. 4 or 5 important words or 3 or 4 important terminologies around which the project will take place. Those are the topics, not titles. Yes. What are they?
Employee satisfaction,
Correct.
hybrid work culture,
Hybrid work culture. Very good.
Training and development.
Yes, but these two is, I think, enough as topics.
Correct.
Topics are employee satisfaction and the reference is
Hybrid
work
work.
from home and
Correct.
hybrid work culture. Correct? Now,
Yes,
I want you to frame a title for this project. To make it more simpler, you may refer to the title that we have seen discuss the case on page 120. On the same line, you can draft your title. Again, giving you 1 or 2 minutes. Go to page 120. Under the case study of Sudarshan, there was a title. A survey of employees in IT service company about their perception on performance. Do you remember? Now you may have to make some changes, obviously. Some additional words you may have to find out, but you draft your survey title. You can start with a survey, or you may start with something else. 1 or 2 minutes. Though they have asked you for 4 various titles, you draft 1. In the group, there will maybe 4. Raise the hands once you do. Okay, Mayuri has done. Let us wait for one more. Great. Okay. Others, you continue, but pay attention to these also. Yes, Bipul Kumar sir. Tell me.
Ma'am, I have tried to make a title like survey of employee performance management system for reward and recognition in IT service company.
Repeat, please. I'm writing.
A survey for employee performance management system.
We are talking about that reference is there of page 120, but we are to do the exercise on page 15.
Okay, sorry. Just give me one moment. I'll make a change.
Sure. Pallavi, have you jotted down anything?
No, ma'am. Give me just 2 minutes.
Yeah. Mayuri, please wait.
Okay, ma'am.
Page 120, I just helped you so that you would have something as an example. But you are to do it for your employee satisfaction and the hybrid home work culture. Okay, let us start with Mayuri now.
Ma'am, do we necessarily have to add survey in the title?
Not at all. Not at all. What I have drafted, it doesn't have the beginning as survey.
Okay, can it be something like, the challenges, something related to challenges employees face during lockdown?
Okay. Challenges faced by employees during lockdown.
Or faced by employees in hybrid culture? The
Okay.
effectiveness of employee productivity.
See, you are manipulating and you are enjoying the words and you are developing. You started with challenges and lockdown. Third one was the revised edition. I appreciate and happy that you are now landing on something different. Go ahead.
Yes,
So challenges, go ahead again. Your revised one.
the effectiveness of employee productivity during hybrid culture or during lockdown.
Okay, effectiveness of employee productivity. Do they want to check the productivity during lockdown? I suppose no. Now, because see, the fourth line says, but now after a year of work from home, got it? So some hybrid is going on.
That's fine.
So they want to check the effectiveness of. Stop now. You try another title. Bipul Kumar sir.
Ma'am, I'm trying. A survey of employee satisfaction due challenge of hybrid work culture.
Very good. Very good. Survey on the employee satisfaction because that is the main topic. You can't change that. Mayuri, productivity, effectiveness definitely are the sub-variables. Correct? It is not for measuring productivity. It will be a part of it. But mainly, it is the behavioral survey. It is not a technical survey. Okay. So survey on the employee satisfaction due to hybrid work culture. I want you to make more fine in the last part of your title, due to hybrid work culture. Check what you can do. Pallavi, by that time?
Yes, ma'am.
Whatever you have jotted down, read it. Ganesh Ram, a dive deep into changing employee behaviors. Oh. Anyone's comment on this? Or Ganesh Ram, your comment on this?
Yes, ma'am. So I was thinking, see, as rightly said, it's not about productivity or anything. It's a overall, how an employee is changed because of this lockdown, multiple different types of working, work from home, hybrid. Now people are expected to come back home. So there is a whole lot of churn that has happened. So this is what is probably, I mean, as a behavioral, impact.
Yeah, behavioral impact, that I agree.
Yeah.
But again, you are focusing on changing behavior post-COVID scenario.
Yeah.
You are using the words a bit ambiguous
Okay.
and a bit generic, where the meaning is not understood.
Okay.
A dive deep is not a conceptual word.
Okay.
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 Changing employee behavior, that can be understood. In post-COVID scenario, this scenario word you need to define again.
Okay, got it. I'll try again.
Use simple terminologies.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Pallavi, have you done anything?
No, ma'am. Something again, the one that I made was generic. So I'm now trying to be more specific.
Okay. Mayuri, have you developed anything?
Yes, ma'am. I can read out one of them.
Yeah.
I have developed about two, but let me read out one of them. So one which I thought would be appropriate, but you tell me, is exploring employee satisfaction with remote work. So it's basically a study on work from home policies during the pandemic.
There is a risk when you use the word policy. When you are not given a task of challenging policies. So policies will be the sub-variable on which definitely you can take the perceptions of employees. But you can't bring this in the title. Okay.
So exploring employee satisfaction with remote work, where you can look at probably multiple.
They want to check hybrid. Okay. Hybrid work culture. So check whether
hybrid work culture. Yeah.
Whether you agree with what I have jotted down. Employee satisfaction survey on the work from home system and hybrid work culture.
Yeah.
Is it giving justice to the exercise that is given?
So ma'am, work from home and hybrid. Now hybrid basically also includes work from home. Hybrid would be some days work from office, some day work from home, some day work from another location. It could be anything. So
then
we can just say hybrid. Yeah.
Employee satisfaction survey on the hybrid work culture at so and so company. That's it. Full stop. Correct? In research, simpler the better. And lesser words, the better. Okay. High sounding terminologies better to be avoided, because each and every word we are to justify. Okay. Yes.
So sorry, ma'am, add one more. Okay. So because in the case that they've given, they've also talked about they want to kind of look at training and development programs to address the factors responsible for dissatisfaction. So I had one more title based on that, if I can just talk about it. So it is basically bridging the gap. So addressing challenges and enhancing remote work effectiveness through training and development.
Definitely. But after this survey on employee satisfaction, this will take place.
This will take place.
Depending upon the findings. Definitely. Good. Okay, anyone wants to contribute more? Or shall we go to the next case? So, question number 1 was on page number 15. We are at question number 1 was read the examples given at the start of the chapter. Find out the scope of research in each of the examples, that is area of research. So let us go to the first page of this chapter or this module, which is page number 3. So number 1, Sonakshi is HR manager at a pharma company. She recruited 15 MBA candidates from various campuses in the country. Lately, she found that after recruiting the best of talent, they were not performing up to the expectations. What should she do? Now, right on this, you are not to frame any title right now. What I want you to do is jot down 5 to 7 words around which your survey will go on this.
5 to 7 words
Around
which we will form the survey question.
Survey question, yes.
Interview, whatever, yeah.
But I don't want research questions.
No. You just want words.
Words.
For example, I can say employee performance.
Okay.
That could be one word, yeah.
To make it simpler, who will be the sample for you for the, if you want to do interviews or mainly the survey, who will be, because these are 15 MBA candidates only. So suppose interview you want to take or maybe focus group interview, who will be the sample? Kiska करेंगे interview?
Apart from, okay, so if I was in Sonakshi's place, I would interview the recruiters as well. Because recruitment strategy जो उन्होंने use किया है, or yeah, what have they done in terms of the entire recruitment process?
Got it. Yeah. So for recruiters, you list down the words. Who will be other? Because they are talking about performance not as per expectations. किसके expectations map करने चाहिए?
Business manager, yeah, whoever has set up the target for those people.
Listen, these are 15 MBA candidates. You need not reach to the business managers.
So their expectations and actual performance?
नहीं, इनका परफॉर्मेंस MBA स्टूडेंट का MBA फ्रेश कैंडिडेट्स का परफॉर्मेंस बिजनेस मैनेजर्स तक जाएगा ही नहीं. Who will know whether they are performing up to expectations or not? Who will know first-hand information? Others, tell me.
Reporting manager.
The immediate supervisors, the team leaders or...
Exactly, team leaders. In some companies, they may be called as supervisors.
Yes, ma'am.
So these are their bosses. Bosses of these new candidates. Interns, you may say. Correct? Now, one sample is, now these are 15 MBA candidates. Suppose they are spread in 5 departments. Okay. So 5 supervisors or the team leaders there, which method you will use? Survey or interview or focus group discussion?
Only 5 are there, so interview can also be done or FGD can also be done.
Because right now the problem is not the departmental knowledge specific. That may be lesser. So you can start with FGDs. If needed, in FGDs, if you find that one or two, these team leaders want to say something different, you can understand from some words, from their body language or like that. Then you can take in-depth interview afterwards. Okay. So one sample is your team leaders. Method is FGD. Another sample is your recruiters. So recruiters के क्या करेंगे? Observation or interview or FGD or survey?
Ma'am, so depending on for recruiters, what is it that we are trying to find out? Because a recruiter's job would be very different from what, I mean, they are just expected to look at the candidates, do the job fit, culture fit, and ask some questions and decide, and then pass it on to the
So
supervisor.
your suggestions will be to recruiters.
Correct. Yes.
Your sample may not be the recruiters right now. If
Yes.
something comes from these team leaders, survey and all that, interviews and all that, FGDs and all that, then you may reach to the recruiters. Okay.
Oh, ma'am, possible that she find out what is the effectiveness of the recruitment process, the onboarding process, the post-hire support.
Yeah.
Factors could also impact the performance of an employee.
That's why I want you to list down few important terminologies.
Okay.
On which you will ask the questions in FGD to the team leaders. So list down those 5-7 concepts, terminologies, context.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the question?
Now we have decided that you will take the opinions of team leaders. Okay, because these are reporting to them. So when you would be asking questions to them in FGDs, what keywords you will use for framing the questions? This is what I want you to do within half minute or 1 minute. Try. Forget about 7-8 words, at least 3-4 words. Remember in the last, we have made some sections. When I asked you to make a title, then some sections have emerged regarding attrition. One section was pay scale related, another was culture related, another was career growth related, another was managerial behavior. Like this, I want. Not these, but like this. These are the basic terminologies that you have learned right from your first semester. Even if you have jotted one word, go ahead. Yes. I start. Do you remember KSA? What is KSA?
Knowledge, skills, attributes, or attitude.
Training person must know this, correct?
Yeah, ma'am. Knowledge, skill,
Yeah.
attitude.
KSA. So knowledge, skill, attitude. So these three, on these different three terms, you can frame the questions. You want to find out that expectations not made. So you can give them the scale. On knowledge level, where do you find them? In 0 to 10 scale. On skill level, on attitude level. To begin with, you can ask this. Even in your FGD, you can make a one-page tick mark question survey form also, where you can put such question. Where have you found the 15 MBA interns on knowledge level, skill level, attitude level? Okay. Now tell me next terminology around which you will ask. Even you can go deeper in K, deeper in S, deeper in A, or a different terminology you may suggest. Okay. Every employee is always evaluated formally or informally under competencies. Agree? So the next terminology I expected was competencies. Now under K, which competencies were expected? Under S, under A, or you study some part of the system of your company, whether competencies are defined or not, or you develop the competency list, some transferable, there are three types: core competency, transferable competency, and technical competencies. You ask questions on that, or again, as I said, one page survey form. On that, you make a list of core competencies and ask them to rate them, because you don't want individual score of any out of these 15 people. You want generic. So you will have to give 5 forms to 5 people. So where do you find the people, these 15, under which technical skill, low or big? Or you can orally ask questions. The form should be in front of you so that your records writing will be comparatively easier. Then when it comes to behavior, you can first of all talk to 1 or 2 team leaders and ask which kind of behavior you have observed in the 15 which is disturbing to you, or which is not a professional behavior from your point of view, or you can ask straight away in the FGD. What kind of professional behavior pointers you have seen in these 15 and which was unprofessional behavior. For this support, if they don't initially open up, they don't find the words, then you may talk about their time management, their punctuality, right? Their task management. You can make deeper some other words. When you are conducting these FGDs, some word vocabulary, some other variable should be handy with you. And to make them open up, you can give them some words so that they can start in detail. Anything else you want to say on this?
Just one thought that I had. When there is a FGD being done with these supervisors in terms of whatever discussion we're having. So in that, would it be a good thing to understand the gap between the actual job requirement and what was the requirement of job and what was the selection criteria?
You can ask directly in this what suggestions you want to give to the recruiters on this background.
But ma'am, the selection finally would be done by the by the line managers or supervisors. Recruiters might not be the final decision makers. So since these people have selected these 15 MBA students, there was a specific job requirement or job description, as we say, for any role that was there.
Yeah, got
then
it.
the gap between this.
Then what you can do is, once this is done, you jot down the findings, these gaps, and conduct recruiters FGD. And put forth all the findings that you have regarding, brief them on these questions were asked, and these were the team leaders who directly used to report, and these are the gaps, and then you can have FGD, and then your recruiting system would be developed. Right? Yes. Anyone else want to contribute more? Okay, shall we go ahead?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah, number 2 now. Aisha is a HR manager of a medium-scale automobile manufacturing company. She has been serving the company for 5 years. Now the company management decided to adopt new technology in automobile manufacturing. What should she do so that the transition is smooth and errorless? So this is the case of change management. I want you to tell me what kind of secondary data you will collect for this.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the study? Your voice is breaking for me.
Okay. On this case number, we are at case number 2, right? It is a case on new technology, and it is a case on change management. Okay. I want you to tell me what kind of internal and external secondary data you will collect before going for primary data. Your primary data, interviews, or whatever method you will select, for that as background material, background data, background information, you will need secondary data. What would it be?
Can I try, ma'am?
Yes.
So, as you said, this is more to do with the change management and technology adoption. So, from a secondary data perspective, I think best practices on how to manage organizational transitions, especially on the focusing on technology adoption in manufacturing industries, getting a lot of best practice data. So we talk about the source, it could be from maybe a lot of in Google articles, a lot of companies there are a lot of studies which are there about best practices. So something we might get areas from there, or research areas. We could talk about change management methods, or strategies, upskilling strategies, and employee training. So there could be a lot of secondary data that could be found out about what other organizations are doing, or what is there available, so that that can be used. Some of them can be used for this.
Okay. Anyone else? What secondary data you will collect? External. It is about new technology, right? So new technology, that specific new technology, which companies are already using, which are on the same product related. Correct? So you will have to find out those Indian companies first, and some related data, and how they are benefited, and how they are ahead of you, and all that. Then only you would be able to convince why you are going for this transition from old to new. Then, what primary data you will collect for the smooth transition and errorless transition? What she should do. It's a OD case, and OD depends on all research.
Benchmarking.
Yeah, for benchmarking purpose only, you have collected that second data, right?
Right.
So just one table, one slide will be enough, or one sheet, if it is a Word file. And if details are to be given and all that. But beyond that, how will you go for primary data? Okay, think on this, tell me next time. We will just, there are 3 minutes left. I will just go to point number 3. Akshay is HR head of Shivam Mobile Company Limited. The company was doing very well until suddenly its sales started dropping. The marketing head of the company was of the view that the sales staff is quite lazy and hence they are not putting enough efforts to sell the product. Now, marketing head, his view is sales staff is quite lazy and they are not putting enough efforts. It is his perception. What you need to find out is perception of sales staff. Now, this is his hypothetical statement. Do you agree? This is marketing head's hypothesis that sales staff is lazy and not putting enough efforts. Which it's a perception. So you may require the perception, your title may be survey on the perception of sales staff, pura sales staff on the dropping sales in so and so period. So you may make a questionnaire and give to all sales staff where you will put the variables in such a manner that the real reasons behind sales dropping will automatically emerge. Okay. And maybe it may emerge that it is because of a particular style of leadership of the market head only. When he is saying the sales staff is quite lazy and not putting efforts, maybe I'm making all the hypothetical statements. Maybe he is of autocratic nature.
He's
Maybe?
Also lazy.
Pardon?
He's also lazy and that behavior is getting generated by the team.
Correct. When such statements are made by any head, it actually doesn't have any meaning. But it indicates the attitude like I'm right, they are wrong. Correct? So it leads to autocratic leadership or laissez-faire leadership that this manager is not taking any efforts at all and putting all the things to the sales staff. And when their leader is not bothered, why should we be bothered? This may be the culture. So some hypothesis, we definitely can make a list of hypotheses, but our job is to check the cause and effect relationship. This effect is sales drop, and you need to make some sections, behavior related sections and sales techniques related sections, then some monitoring system regarding sales, reporting system about sales, and level of training about n number of things. And depending upon that, you can do that particular survey. Secondary data of competitors you need to collect. So you can, from that, internal data will talk about to what extent sales are dropping percentage you will get department wise and person wise and all that, and period wise, month wise, correct? And in this from internal secondary data, and external secondary data, of course, benchmark regarding competitors. So we have done 4 case studies, 3 from this first page and 1 from the last page of this chapter. You go through the remaining, and we will meet on the last session next Sunday, right? Keep
Okay,
your
ma'am.
queries ready, go through the recordings and all that, so that yes, Ganesh Ram, in you have written in chat competitors or industry pairs.
Oh, that was
benchmark.
for the previous topic.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Good weekend.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.